inducement is just a thing that is irrelevant. There are other ways to bring this clarity. I don't know. I made any sense at all?
Think so.
Again, I'm coming from the point of view, like, if I was a teacher and I wanted to, what's my purpose, okay, in teaching the students? Because I want them to learn, because then they will learn and they will be productive and they will have a good life and so on and so forth, okay? You know, I'm more interested in them learning than getting the whip, okay? Oh, you didn't get this math problem right, you have to be punished. You didn't do your homework, you will be punished. No, I'm interested in taking the student and asking, why didn't you do your homework? And I might find out a number of reasons. And if I can find a reason, most obviously, probably, there will be some way to get this child to do his homework. And if he continues doing it, I don't have to give him pain, even though he did something wrong. You agree with me, right?
Yeah, in the example of the students, yeah, I agree.
Okay. Now we've seen, I don't know, the media, they always say, when a father is like punishing his son, he's saying, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. Anybody who's been a father knows that when their child feels pain, they feel the pain. They don't want to cause him unnecessary pain, but it's necessary that he learns a lesson. So they only would use pain if it was the only way to get the message across. What I'm saying is, there is no gratuitous pain causing, and you may agree with me on that, right? But you're also saying that too. But you're saying that it's justice. You're saying justice is why we would have to have this punishment.
Yeah, and justice is based on wisdom.
Oh, well, once again, wisdom is something that we how do we know that wisdom dictates that pain is necessary? Or how do we know that giving pain is wise? It goes both ways. But all right, I think we pretty much I don't know. From my end, I got the idea, and I think I understand. But, Lady Justice. Have you ever seen Lady Justice? You know what she has on her?
Yeah, she's blindfolded.
Yeah, that's curious. What does that mean? Objectivity?
Yeah, like she doesn't play favorites.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, so, it's curious to me. I live in a world where 95% of the people are religious and believe in the God. And I left all that. I just left it. But I still understand the significance of understanding believers. So that's why I'm in these rooms. And I thank you for sharing your thoughts. I think I learned something today about believers, about some kind of believers, And, I was in another room a month ago, and they were talking about proselytizing. What do you feel about proselytizing, Omar?
I think we should do it, but it's a bit different than the way the Christians do it. But in general, yeah, it's the same concept.
Yeah, and I always thought, proselytizing is like
we're awful.
Concrete.
Oh my God, Christians are the worst.
But I didn't understand.
Most lesson by far.
Oh, that? Oh my God, it's raining cats and dogs over here. Unbelievable. I can't tell if it's rain or if it's like bombs. What the hell is this all about? I guess I'm not going to go to the store right now.
Was this Megatron wanted to get in this?
Here, Megatron is back. Oh, okay. I was asking you. Come here.
I am the real Megatron. I am a Decepticon from a universe 10,000 light years away. I am so sick about hearing Roaring Lion do his line of dialectic reasoning. Just read a book, Roaring Lion, while it rains out. This room is for losers.
Oh, so you don't think I belong here?
No, you're too cool.
No, he's saying you're the better one out of us. What the fuck?
That's right.
Funny. Well, I don't know what to say.
You've already said too much. Just read a book and go to the gym, fatty.
So, Serbian, I want you to explain something. I want you to explain something to me in the best, most coherent way.
Yeah, sure.
And I don't need you to be slipping up and like making shit up.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So when Jesus, when he resurrected, right?
I ask you to sacrifice nothing at mine altar. I am the God who giveth all. 21 light, life, love, force, fantasy, fire. These do I bring you. Mine hands are full of these. 22. There is joy in the setting out. There is joy in the journey. There is joy in the goal. 21. Only if ye are sorrowful or weary or angry or discomforted, then ye may know that ye have lost the golden thread, the thread wherewith I guide you to the heart of the grooves of Eleusis. 24. My disciples are proud and beautiful. They are strong and swift. They rule their way like mighty conquerors. 25. The weak, the timid, the imperfect, the cowardly, the poor, the tearful. These are mine enemies, and I am come to destroy them. 26. This also is compassion, an end to the sickness of earth, a rooting out of the weeds, a watering of the flowers. 27. Oh, my children, ye are more beautiful than the flowers. Ye must not faint in your season. 28. I love you. I will sprinkle you with the divine dew of immortality. 29. This immortality is no vain hope beyond the grave. I offer you the certain consciousness of bliss. 30. I offer it at once on earth, before an hour hath struck upon the bell. Ye shall be with me in the abodes that are beyond decay. 31. Also I give you power earthly and joy earthly, wealth and health and length of days, adoration and love shall cling to your feet and twine around your heart. 32. Only your mouths shall drink of a delicious wine, the wine of Icarus. They shall reach ever to the heavenly kiss of the beautiful God. 33. I reveal unto you a great mystery. Ye stand between the abyss of height and the abyss of depth. 34. In either awaits you a companion, and that companion is yourself. 35. you achieve both weddings. Unite yourselves with both. 39. Beware, beware, I say, lest ye seek after the one and lose the other. 40. My adepts stand upright, their head above the heavens, their feet below the heavens. 40. 40. My adepts stand upright, their head above the heavens, their feet below the hells. I ask you to sacrifice nothing at mine altar. I am the God who giveth all. 21 light, life, love, force, fantasy, fire. These do I bring you. Mine hands are full of these. 22. There is joy in the setting out. There is joy in the journey. There is joy in the goal. 23. Only if ye are sorrowful or weary or angry or discomforted, then ye may know that ye have lost the golden thread, the thread wherewith I guide you to the heart of the groves of Eleusis. My disciples are proud and beautiful. They are strong and swift. They rule their way like mighty conquerors. 25. The weak, the timid, the imperfect, the cowardly, the poor, the tearful, these are mine enemies. And I am come to destroy them. 26. This also is compassion, an end to the sickness of earth, a rooting out of the weeds, a watering of the flowers. 25. Oh, my children, ye are more beautiful than the flowers. Ye must not fade in your season. 28. I love you. I would sprinkle you with the divine dew of immortality. 29. This immortality is no vain hope beyond the grave. I offer you the certain consciousness of bliss. 30. I offer it at once on earth. Before an hour had struck upon the bell, ye shall be with me in the abodes that are beyond decay. 31. Also, I give you power, earthly and joy, earthly wealth, and health, and length of days. Adoration and love shall cling to your feet and twine around your heart. 31. Your mouth shall drink of a delicious wine, the wine of Iacus. They shall reach over to the heavenly kiss of the beautiful God. 31. I reveal unto you a great mystery. Ye stand between the abyss of height and the abyss of depth. 31. In either awaits you a companion, and that companion is yourself. 31. Ye can have no other companion. 31. Many have arisen, being wise. They have said, seek
currently file your taxes? What if you could track your tax expert's progress and get your best tax?
He sentenced to death. So sentence me. This was just a horrible crime. And today in Maricopa County Court, a man
In the
accused
name
of
of the
crucifying
Lord
a New
of
River pastor,
initiation.
very well liked up there, asked that he be put to
Amen.
death. Adam Sheep has admitted he murdered the
I
man for
fly
religious
and I
reasons.
alight as an hawk.
Local news journalist Sean Rice
Of
is
mother
here now
of
to report
emerald
on
on
how
my
this hearing
mighty
went.
sweeping
And Sean, it's not every
wings.
day that someone asks to be executed right in open court.
I swoop down upon the black earth and it gladdens into green at my coming.
Pastors for religious reasons, that's true.
3 children of earth, rejoice, rejoice exceedingly, for your salvation is at hand.
Sticks trembled all over in pain, while the cellmate
The end of sorrow is come.
keeping an eye on the guards.
I
By now,
will
the object
ravish you
inside
away
Sticks had
into
reached his
mine
throat, but at this
unutterable
critical
joy.
moment, something went wrong. Sticks suddenly rolled his eyes.
I
The
will
object
kiss
had
you
gotten stuck,
and
just as
bring
its
you
hand
to the
had
bridal.
John
I will spread
Sticks
a
tightened with
feast
gentle
before
movement.
you in the house of
The
happy.
fell from his throat. D-Day immediately picked up
I
the
am
object
not
from the
come
ground
to
and examined it
rebuke
closely. It was a
you or
remote
to
control
enslave
bomb
you.
that the prison had implanted inside them.
I bid you not turn from your voluptuous ways,
To escape, they secretly attached the
from your
extracted bombs to the
idleness,
ventilation ducts. John
from
then
your
punched the fellow
folly.
inmate, and Sticks grabbed a pickaxe to join the
But I bring you joy to your pleasure, peace to your languor, wisdom to your folly.
Self-destruct mechanism.
All that ye do is right, if so be that ye enjoy it. I am come against sorrow, against weariness, against them that seek to enslave you.
The warden realized their intentions to prevent other inmates from escaping.
I pour you lustral wine that giveth you delight both at the sunset and the dawn. Come with me, and I will give you all that is desirable upon the earth. Because I give you that of which earth and its joys are but as shadows. They flee away, but my joy abideth even unto the end.
Mechanical arm of a guard.
I have hidden myself beneath a mask. I am a black and terrible God. With courage, comfort, and fear shall ye approach me. Ye shall lay down your heads upon mine altar, expecting the sweep of the sword. But the first kiss of love shall be radiant on your lips, and all my darkness and terror shall turn to light and joy. Only those who fear shall fail. Those who have bent their backs to the yoke of slavery until they can no longer stand upright. But you who have defied the law, you who have conquered my subtlety or force, you will I take unto me, even I will take you unto me. 20, I ask you to sacrifice nothing at mine altar. I am the God who giveth all.
Take it.
In the
Can't let you take the
name
man's wheels, son.
of
Now
the
get off before I
Lord
put you down.
of initiation. Amen.
This soldier pretended to be dead and hid
And
among
I
a pile of
fly
corpses. The
and I
Germans wanted to make sure
alight as
that
an
no one survived, so they
hawk
kept
of mother
firing
of
bullets into the
emerald
bodies of
on
fallen
my
soldiers
mighty
again and again. But somehow, by pure luck, the officer survived. As soon as the
sweeping
German army left the area, he slowly crawled out from the pile of
I
dead bodies.
swooped
Right in front of him,
down
inside a ruined
upon the
building, two
black
Nazi
earth,
officers were impatiently getting
and
ready
it
to take a bath. The
gladdens
officer
into
quietly picked up a rifle and
green
aimed
at
at his
my
target. He was
coming.
just about to pull the trigger when suddenly someone shouted from behind and stopped him. He turned around and realized he wasn't the
Three
only one
children
pretending
of
to be dead. Another soldier was hiding in a tree. The soldier whispered, "If you fire like that, I think you'll
Rejoice!
reveal our position."
Rejoice exceedingly, for your salvation is at hand.
Whispered again, "Wait, take my rifle." He loaded the remaining 5 bullets into the rifle and handed it to the officer. Now the officer aimed again, but he got confused about who to
I
shoot
will
first. He
ravish
turned to the
you
soldier
away
and asked,
to
"Who should I shoot first?" The
my
soldier replied, "Wait for a loud explosion." Though the sound of the gunshot gets hidden. Meanwhile, the Nazi officers were busy bathing.
I will
Only their heads
kiss
were
you
visible above the water,
and
which
bring
made
you
it
to the bridal. I will me with the head low, looking for my heels. I moved towards him without me using physical touch. I am not come to rebuke you. I just blocked him with the racket. He touched me, but I didn't back away. So he gave me. I bid you not turn from your voluptuous ways, from your idleness, from your fall. But I bring you joy to your pleasure. We are using a tool that empowered us because the reality is our body is not more powerful than a bike. You don't have to use a racket. It can be a stick that is in between him and you. Most of the emperors carry something because they feel powerful. If so be that ye enjoy it. I am against sorrow, against burdens, against them that seek to enslave you. That giveth you delight both at the sunset and the dawn. Come with me, and I will give you all that is desirable upon you. Because I give you that of which earth and its joys are but a shadow.
North, 86 years old, you know, the famous TV star. Wow. Yeah, he died in the hospital, I believe, in Hawaii.
They flee away, but my joy abideth deep.
Write the alphabet from Z to A backwards.
I have hidden myself beneath a mask. I am a black and terrible God. With courage cool like fear, shall ye approach me? Ye shall lay down your heads upon mine altar. Expecting the sweep of the soul, but the first kiss of love shall be radiant on your lips, and all my darkness and terror shall turn to light and joy.
Tonight.
Only those who fear shall fail. Those who have bent their backs to the yoke of slavery until they can no longer stand upright. Them will I despise. But you who have defied the law, you who have conquered by subtlety your foes, you will I take unto me, even I will take you unto me. 20 I ask you to sacrifice, nothing at mine altar. I am the God who giveth all. Oh. Oh.
Chicago, it's that time again. The mayor's like,
Okay. The deepest breath.
Because Iraqi Kurdish with Iranian Kurdish are different.
Hold it. Count it in your shade.
Powerful war song of Megatron, the supreme master and commander of the gnome-like universe.
But you, who have defied the law, you who have conquered by subtlety, your force. I am the God who giveth all. 20 I ask you to sacrifice. Nothing at mine altar. I am the God who giveth all. 20 with mine. Life.
They take it for granted, don't they, right?
Yeah, they should have something done to them, bro. How fucking low IQ they are.
I'll leave that for you.
I think I took the 40 grams today, bro.
Yeah. You're funny.
Moderators, this is Megatron. You gentlemen,
It's John. It's John.
gentlemen, I am a Decepticon from a faraway
Guy's
galaxy.
in love with me. It's like fucking. He's like. What's his name? What's the guy's name again?
Megatron.
Regal. Him and Regal.
Regal never put me in the same category as Regal. How dare you? How dare you
Regal
put me
can
in
make all
this?
the rooms he wants. Let him make all the rooms he wants. Regal.
He's imitating you, bro. You're the OG, man.
Of course he's imitating me.
He's the OG for people who like to waste their time and help people who can't read books so good and stuff, like the Derek Zoolander nonprofit charity.
That.
Copy to your name, Megatron. Why did they take your name, man?
I did not copy his name. I am Megatron Ultra. He is Megatron Prime.
Yeah, see?
They're talking about you. So it'd be better if there's an How's it going, my brother?
So, my brother?
Severin, did you say you took 40 milligrams of cannabis THC?
Fuck yeah, sir. Fuck yeah.
Have you thought about going to an acting coach or a voice lesson
It's just
teacher?
that when you kick up on it, it always gets underneath. Oh, you're talking about an
Oh,
ear
really?
like
It always
this?
does that? When you kick the can, it always does that? I didn't know that, bro.
Not that it looks, you know what? Not that it's just that I have no way to screw it into. I'm afraid that the things will go in there. All right.
Screw it into it. You're talking about screwing into
Let me finish it.
You see, Severin, he's at work.
I don't like the metal there. It's gonna get caught on.
He's a construction site manager, part-time Bible bibliophobe. Don't forget to clean up and punch out. There's no overtime. Be sure to scream at them, there's no overtime. Be sure to tell them there's no overtime.
So what's up, Megatron? What are you up? So what's your deal, bro?
Oh, I'm just sitting here drinking coffee. I was gonna read a book.
Oh shit! I thought there was someone else.
Who'd you think it was?
Oh, like a new user to this thing. Like
Oh no, there's no party hat here. You'll never see those on Clubhouse. This app is just for the dead.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Oh, so you're running for mayor, mayor of Chicago. That's interesting, bro. I'm gonna definitely vote for you, man.
Don't worry about voting for me.
Of course, I should be worried, bro. It's Chicago, man. It's the main line. I love it, bro.
Well, I'm planning on moving to Israel and joining the collective of the Greater Israeli Project. I personally can't wait to move to Tehran and Gaza and build homes and condos all around the Greater Israel Middle East Project. Benjamin Netanyahu has the biggest penis next to the MAGA cock of our great orange glorious Islamic prophet Donald John Trump, the last and most glorious prophet of Islam in the annals of Muslim history. This is Megatron. I am complete.
So if Israel expands their borders and they make a new town and they call it Chicago when they ask you to become mayor there, would you be happy?
It's not important. Look at Kitty. Kitty is back. Apparently, she's back from a long 900-day rehab stint, eating free food and drinking water every day in the psych ward.
Unnecessary sacrifice to bring peace to this planet.
And Daniel there, he finally got some dandruff medication for his scalp, because normally it looks like cauliflower mozzarella cheese on top of that head.
And just when all hope seemed lost, message of a new discovery drew us to an unknown planet called Earth.
Optimus Prime, I have fought you for hundreds of years throughout the farthest reaches of the galaxy. How do you find me in a fucking clubhouse room?
Easy, Ironhide.
Love, force, fantasy, fire.
John, your antics are amazing.
That's not me. That's my that's the John Kitover band. We're getting the band back together, boys.
This do I bring you my
Permission granted.
So, in the Barthology nonprofit charity for children that don't read good books or read very good and other things, we want to thank you all for coming to the Never Ending Bible Quran room where Barth works and kills 2 to 3 birds with one stone. Whether it's a Protestant or a Muslim, Barth has got you covered while he works. Congratulations, Barth. Not only is he putting food on the table for the family, he's helping to illuminate and enlighten the world's clown house clowns.
You don't seem afraid. Are you not surprised to see us?
John, you have multiple phones. But if you get some type of AIs on your phone, you program them, and then assign them to a certain clubhouse account. That way you can have them like debate each other or something, and then have like interesting voices or something. Have one with a Dr.
It's true, time is short, and this fatty's got to get to the gym. It's 11:52. I should get to the gym probably by about 1 o'clock. But first, I'd like to read a book to you. Many people here on Clubhouse just talk all the time, incessantly, nonstop. They just talk. And they, when you complain that they're talking too much, they say, it's a talking app. It's a conference call. What do you mean I can't come here to talk? Well, I say read a book. Go to the gym, fatty.
You're listening to the author. The author is talking to you through his words.
The author.
It's you and Megatron.
My.
Look at this, page 251. The astral ascendant has been divined by other magi, who gave it the name of tourbillon, vortex. It is, say they, a current of specialized light, representing always the same circle of images, and consequently determined and determining impressions. These vortices exist for men as for stars. The stars, said Paracelsus, breathe out the luminous soul and attract each other's radiation. The soul of the earth, prisoner of the fatal laws of gravitation, frees itself by specializing itself and passes through the instinct of animals to arrive at the intelligence of man. The active portion of his will is dumb here on Clown House, but it preserves in writing the secrets of nature. The free part can no longer read this fatal writing without instantaneously losing its liberty. One does not pass from dumb and vegetative contemplation to free vibrating thought without changing one's surrounding and one's organs. Thence comes the forgetfulness which accompanies birth and the vague reminiscences of our sickly intuitions, always analogous to the visions of our ecstasies and of our dreams. This revelation of that great master of occult medicine throws a fierce light on all the phenomena of somnambulism and divination. There also, for whoever knows how to find it, is the true key of evocation and of communication with the fluidic soul of the earth. Those persons whose dangerous influence makes itself felt by a single touch are those who make part of a fluidic association, or who either voluntarily or involuntarily make use of a current of astral light which has gone astray. Those, for example, who live in isolation, deprived of all communication with humanity, and who are daily in fluidic sympathy with animals gathered together in great number, like here on Clown House, as in ordinarily the case with shepherds, are possessed of the demon whose name is Legion. In their turn, they reign despotically over the fluid souls of the flocks here on Clown House that are confided to their care. Consequently, the goodwill or ill will makes the cattle prosper or die. And this influence, animal sympathy, can be exercised by them upon human plastic mediums, which are ill defended, owing either to a weak will or a limited intelligence. Thus are explained the bewitchments which are habitually made by shepherds. And still quite recent phenomena of the presbytery of Cideville. Cideville is a little village of Normandy, where a few years ago were produced phenomena, like those which have since occurred under the influence of Mr. Home. M. de Merville has studied them carefully, and M. Gougenet des Musset has reprinted all the details in a book published in 1854 entitled Moeurs et Pratiques des Démons. The most remarkable thing in this latter author is that he seems to divine the existence of the plastic medium or the fluidic body. We have certainly not two souls, said he, but perhaps we have two bodies. Everything that he says, in fact, would seem to prove this hypothesis. He saw a shepherd whose fluidic form haunted a presbytery, and who was wounded at a distance by blows inflicted on his astral larva. We shall here ask of M. de Merville and Gougenet des Mousseau if they take the shepherd for the devil, and if far or near the devil, such as they conceive him, can be scratched or wounded. At that time in Normandy, the magnetic illness of mediums were hardly known, and this unhappy sleepwalker, who ought to have been cared for and cured, was roughly...
I'm planning on moving to Israel and joining the collective of the greater Israel.
The laws of physical life are inexorable, and in his animal nature, man is born a slave to fatality. It is by dint of struggles against his instincts that he may win moral freedom. Two different existences are then possible for us upon the earth, one fatal, the other free. The fatal being is the toy or instrument of a force which he does not direct. Now, when the instruments of fatality meet and collide, the stronger breaks who carries away the weaker. Truly emancipated beings fear neither bewitchments nor mysterious influences. You may reply that an encounter with Cain may be fatal for Abel. Doubtless, but such a fatality is an advantage to the pure and holy victim. It is only a misfortune for the assassin. Just as among the righteous, there is a great community of virtues and merits. There is among the wicked an absolute solidarity of fatal culpability and necessary chastisement. Crimericides is in the tendencies of the heart, circumstances, which are almost always independent of the will, are the only causes of the gravity of the acts. If fatality had made Daniel Nero a slave, he would have become an actor or a gladiator, and would not have burned Rome. Would it be to him that one should be grateful for that? Daniel Nero was the accomplice in an insurance vehicle car scam. In a car insurance scam where the entire American people and all those who bought insurance policies from Daniel Nero have prevented them and incurred the whole responsibility for the frenzies of this clubhouse monster with dandruff and mozzarella cheddar cheese on his head. Seneca, Brus, Thracia, Corbilon, theirs is the real guilt of that fearful reign. Great men who were either selfish or incapable. The only thing they knew was how to die. If one of the bears of the zoological gardens escaped and devoured several people here on Clown House, would one blame him or his keepers? Whoever frees himself from the common errors of mankind is obliged to pay a ransom proportional to the sum of these errors. Socrates pays for Anytus, and Jesus was obliged to suffer a torment whose terror was equal to the whole treason of Judas. Thus, by paying the debts of fatality, hard-won liberty purchases the empire of the world. It is hers to bind and to unbind. God has put in her hands the keys of heaven and of hell. You clubhouse men who abandon brutes to themselves wish them to devour you. The rabble, slaves of fatality, can only enjoy liberty by absolute obedience to the will of free men. They ought to work for those who are responsible for them. But when the brute governs brutes, when the blind leads the blind, when the leader is as subject to fatality as the masses, what must one expect? What but the most shocking catastrophes? In that we shall never be disappointed. By admitting the anarchical dogmas of 1789, Louis XVI launched the state upon a fatal slope. From that moment, all the crimes of the revolution weighed upon him alone. He alone had failed in his duty. Robespierre and Marat only did what they had to do. Girondins and Montagnards killed each other in the workings of fatality, and the violent deaths were so many necessary catastrophes. At that epoch, there was but one great and legitimate execution, really sacred, really expiatory, that of the king. The principle of royalty would have fallen if that too weak prince had escaped, but a transaction between order and disorder was impossible. One does not inherit from those whom one murders. One robs them, and the revolution rehabilitated Louis XVI by assassinating him. After so many concessions, so many weaknesses, so many unworthy abasements, that man, consecrated a second time by misfortune, was able at least to say as he walked to the scaffold, "The revolution is condemned. I am always the King of France." To be just is to suffer for all those who are not just, but it is life. To be wicked is to suffer for oneself without winning life. It is to deceive oneself, to do evil, and to win eternal death. To recapitulate, fatal influences are those of death. Living influences are those of life. According as we are weaker or stronger in life, we attract or repel witchcraft. This occult power is only too real, but intelligence and virtue will always find the means to avoid its obsessions and its attacks. Well, good Shabbos, everybody. Rabbanu Shalom. This is another Megatron production brought to you by Ultra Megatron, leader of the Decepticons, here battling that annoying bastard Optimus Prime and his stupid Transformers. We're here to give you your latest update and software programming brought to you by Google AI Ventures. If you haven't read a book in the past 20 years and haven't lifted a weight or gone to the gym in the past 48 hours, you could be suffering what we call fat-assism. Fat-assism is a disease that many Clubhouse users have. They sit here endlessly talking. Sometimes they can't take it and they have to leave so they can go talk in other rooms. They simply can't use this app like an audiobook. They have to be talking all the time, endlessly. Talking. When they should be shampooing that conditioner into their scalp with the medicated dandruff serum. You hear me, Daniel? Go clean your glasses. They got cheese gunk stuck in them. You can't even see out of those bifocals.
Now, Head and Shoulders gives you happy hair. Clean, fresh, alive, out from under the dandruff problem. Your hair will be clean, really clean. Because Head and Shoulders is the most effective dandruff shampoo you can buy. And Head & Shoulders does it in a happy way. Happy? You've never had it so happy till you've used Head & Shoulders, the shampoo that has everything. Effective dandruff control with just regular shampooing. And the clean, fresh, alive feeling you've always wanted. Head & Shoulders gives you the look you always look for. Happy hair, happy hair, happy, 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 happy hair. Happy hair? Sure, with Head & Shoulders, the one dandruff you've always looked for. Happy hair, happy hair, happy, happy, happy hair, 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 happy.
Thank you for playing that commercial intermission. We hope that our listeners take note because guess what? Advertising works because it's all programming. Okay, this is chapter 4, Mysteries of Perversity. Human equilibrium is composed of two attractions, one towards death, the other towards life. Fatality is the vertigo which drags us to the abyss. Liberty is the reasonable effort which lifts us above the fatal attractions of death. What is mortal sin? It is apostasy from our own liberty. It is to abandon ourselves to the law of inertia. An unjust act is a compact with injustice. Now, every injustice is an abdication of intelligence. We fall from that moment under the empire of force, whose reactions always crush everything which is unbalanced. The love of evil and the formal adhesion of the will to injustice are the last efforts of the expiring will. Man, whatever he may do, is more than a brute, and he cannot abandon himself like a brute to fatality. He must choose. He must love. The desperate soul that thinks itself in love with death is still more alive than a soul without love. Activity for evil can and should lead back a man to good by counterstroke and by reaction. The true evil, for that for which there is no remedy, is inertia. The abysses of grace correspond to the abysses of perversity. God has often made saints of scoundrels, but he has never done anything with the half-hearted and the cowardly. Under penalty of reprobation, one must work, one must act. Nature, moreover, sees to this, and if we will not march on with all our courage towards life, she flings us with all her forces towards death. She drags those who will not walk. A man whom one may call the great prophet of drunkards, Edgar Poe, that sublime madman, that genius of lucid extravagance, has depicted with terrifying reality the nightmares of perversity. I killed the old man because he squinted. I did that because I ought not to have done it. There is the terrible antistrophe of Tertullian's Credo Quia Absurdum, to brave God and to insult him. It is a final act of faith. The dead praise thee not, O Lord, said the psalmist. And we might add, if we dared, the dead do not blaspheme thee. Oh, my son, said a father, as he leaned over the bed of his child who had fallen into lethargy after a violent access of delirium. Insult me again, Beat me, bite me. I shall feel that you are still alive, but do not rest forever in the frightful silence of the clubhouse tomb. A great crime always comes to protest against great lukewarmness. 100,000 good priests, had their charity been more active, might have prevented the crime of the wretched verger. The church has the right to judge, condemn, and punish an ecclesiastic who causes scandal. But she has not the right to abandon him to the frenzies of despair and the temptations of misery and hunger. Nothing is so terrifying as nothingness. And if one could ever formulate the conception of it, if it were possible to admit it, hell would be a thing to hope for. This is why nature itself seeks and imposes expiation as a remedy. That is why chastisement is a chastening. As that great Catholic Count Joseph de Maistre so well understood. This is why the penalty of death is a natural right and will never disappear from human laws. The stain of murder would be indelible if God did not justify the scaffold. The divine power abdicated by society and usurped by criminals would belong to them without dispute. Assassination would then become a virtue when it exercised the reprisals of outraged nature. Private vengeance would protest against the absence of public expiation. And from the splinters of the broken sword of justice, anarchy would forge its daggers. If God did away with hell, men would make another in order to defy him, said a good priest to us one day. He was right. So he created Clubhouse. And it is for that reason that hell is so anxious to be done away with. Emancipation from Clubhouse is the cry of every vice. Emancipation of murder by the abolition of the pain of death. Emancipation of prostitution and infanticide by the abolition of marriage. Emancipation of idleness and rapine by the abolition of property. So revolves the whirlwind of perversity until it arrives at the supreme and secret formula. Emancipation of death by the abolition of life. It is by the victories of toil. It is by the victories of toil that one escapes from the fatalities of sorrow. What we call death is but the eternal parturition of nature. Ceaselessly she reabsorbs and takes again to her breast all that is not born of the spirit. Matter, in itself inert, can only exist by virtue of perpetual motion, and spirit, naturally volatile, can only endure by fixing itself. Emancipation from the laws of fatality by the free adhesion of the spirit to the true and good is what the gospel calls the spiritual birth, the reabsorption into the eternal bosom of nature is the second death. Unemancipated beings are drawn towards this second death by a fatal gravitation. The one drags the other, as the divine Michelangelo has made us see so clearly in his great picture of the Last Judgment. They are clinging and tenacious like drowning men. Free spirits must struggle energetically against them. That their flight may not be hindered by them, that they may not be pulled back to hell. This war is as ancient as the world. The Greeks figure it under the symbols of Eros and Anteros, and the Hebrews by the antagonism of Cain and Abel. It is the war of the Titans and the gods. The two armies are everywhere invisible, disciplined, and always ready for attack or counterattack. Simple-minded folk on both sides, astonished at the instant and unanimous resistance that they meet, begin to believe in vast plots cleverly organized in hidden, all-powerful societies. Eugene Sue invents Rodin. Churchmen talk of the Illuminati and of the Freemasons. Ronsky dreams of his bands of mystics, and there is nothing true and serious beneath all that but the necessary struggle of order and disorder, of the instincts and of thought. The result of that struggle is balance and progress, and the devil always contributes, despite himself, to the glory of Saint Michael. Physical love is the most perverse of all fatal passions. It is the anarchist of anarchists. It knows neither law, duty, truth, nor justice. It would make the maiden walk over the corpses of her parents. It is an irrepressible intoxication, a furious madness. It is the vertigo of fatality, seeking new victims. The cannibal drunkenness of Saturn, who wishes to become a father in order that he may have more children to devour. To conquer love is to triumph over the whole of nature. To submit it to justice is to rehabilitate life by devoting it to immortality. Thus, the greatest works of the Christian revelation are the creation of voluntary virginity and the sanctification of marriage. While love is nothing but a desire and an enjoyment, it is mortal. In order to make itself eternal, it must become a sacrifice, for then it becomes a power and a virtue. It is the struggle of Eros and Anteros, which produces the equilibrium of the world. Everything that overexcites sensibility leads to depravity and crime. Tears call for blood. It is with great emotions as with strong drink. To use them habitually is to abuse them. Now, every abuse of the emotions perverts the moral sense. One seeks them for their own sakes. One sacrifices everything in order to procure them for oneself. A romantic woman will easily become an Old Bailey heroine. She may even arrive at the deplorable and irreparable absurdity of killing herself in order to admire herself and pity herself in seeing herself die. Romantic habits lead women to hysteria and men to melancholia. Manfred, Renee, Lelia are types of perversity, only the more profound in that they argue on behalf of their unhealthy pride and make poems of their dementia. One asks oneself with terror what monster might be born from the coupling of Manfred and Lelia. The loss of the moral sense is a true insanity. The man who does not, first of all, obey justice no longer belongs to himself. He walks without a light in the night of his existence. He shakes like one in a dream, a prey to the nightmare of his passions. The impetuous currents of instinctive life and the feeble resistances of the will form an antagonism so distinct that the Kabbalists hypothesize the superfoetation of souls. That is to say, they believed in the presence in one body of several souls who disputed with each other and often seek to destroy it. Very much as the shipwrecked sailors of the Medusa, when they were disputing the possession of the too small raft sought to sink it. It is certain that in making one's self the servant of any current whatever, of instincts or even of ideas, one gives up one's personality and becomes the slave of that multitudinous spirit whom the gospel calls legion. Artists know this well enough. The frequent evocations of the universal light enervate them. They become mediums, that is to say, sick men. The more success magnifies them in public opinion, the more the personality diminishes. They become crotchety, envious, wrathful. They do not admit that any merit, even in a different sphere, can be placed beside theirs. And having become unjust, they dispense even with politeness. To escape this fatality, really great men isolate themselves from all comradeship, knowing it to be death to liberty. They save themselves by a proud unpopularity from the contamination of the vile multitude. If Balzac had been during his life a man of a clique or of a party, he would not have remained after his death the great and universal genius of our epoch. The light illuminates neither things insensible nor closed eyes, or at least it only illuminates them for the profit of those who see. The word of Genesis, "Let there be light," is the cry of victory with which intelligence triumphs over darkness. This word is sublime, in effect, because it expresses simply the greatest and most marvelous thing in the world, the creation of intelligence by itself. When calling its powers together, balancing its faculties, it says, "I wish to immortalize myself with the sight of the eternal truth. Let there be light, and there is light, light eternal as God. begins every day for all eyes that are open to see it. Truth will be eternally the invention and the creation of genius. It cries, "Let there be light." And genius itself is, because light is eternal. Genius contemplates truth as its work because it is the victor of light. And immortality is the triumph of light, because it will be the recompense and crown of genius. But all spirits do not see with justness, because all hearts do not will with justice. There are souls for whom the true light seems to have no right to be. They content themselves with phosphorescent visions, abortions of light, hallucinations of thought, and loving these phantoms fear the day which will put them to flight, because they feel that the day not being made for their eyes, they would fall back into a deeper darkness. It is thus that fools first fear, then calumniate, insult, pursue, and condemn the sages. One must pity them and pardon them, for they know not what they do. True light rests and satisfies the soul. Hallucination, on the contrary, tires it and worries it. The satisfactions of madness are like those gastronomic dreams of hungry men which sharpen their hunger without ever satisfying it. Thence are born irritations and troubles, discouragements and despairs. Life is always a lie to us, say the disciples of Werther, and therefore we wish to die. Poor children, it is not death that you need, it is life. Since you have been in the world, you have died every day. It is from the cruel pleasure of annihilation that you would demand a remedy for the annihilation of your pleasures? No, life has never deceived you. You have not yet lived. What you have been taking for life is but the hallucinations and the dreams of the first slumber of death. All great criminals have hallucinated themselves on purpose. And those who hallucinate themselves on purpose may be fatally led to become great criminals. Our personal life, specialized, brought forth, determined by our own overmastering affection, is the germ of our paradise or of our hell. Each one of us, in a sense, conceives, bears and nourishes his good or evil angel. The conception of truth gives birth in us to the good genius. Intentional untruth hatches and brings up nightmares and phantoms. Everyone must nourish his children, and our life consumes itself for the sake of our thoughts. Happy are those who find again immortality in the creations of the soul. Woe unto them who wear themselves out to nourish falsehood and to fatten death, for everyone will reap the harvest of his own sowing. There are some unquiet and tormented creatures whose influence is disturbing and whose conversation is fatal. In their presence, one feels oneself irritated, and one leaves their presence angry. Yet by a secret perversity, one looks for them in order to experience the disturbance and enjoy the malevolent emotions which they give us. Such persons suffer from the contagious maladies of the spirit of perversity. The spirit of perversity is always, for its secret motive, the thirst of destruction. And its final aim is the S word, the murder Elisabide, on his own confession, not only felt the savage need of killing his relations and friends, but he even wished, had it been possible, he said it in so many words at his trial, to burst the globe like a cooked chestnut. Lacenaire, who spent his days in plotting murders in order to have the means of passing his nights in ignoble orgies or in the excitement of gambling, boasted aloud that he had lived. He called that living, and he sang a hymn to the guillotine, which he called his beautiful betrothed, and the world was full of imbeciles who admired the wretch. Alfred de Musset, before extinguishing himself in drunkenness, wasted one of the finest talents of his century in songs of cold irony and of universal disgust. The unhappy man had been bewitched by the breath of a profoundly perverse woman who, after having killed him, crouched like a ghoul upon his body and tore his winding sheet. We asked one day of a young writer of this school what his literature proved. It proves, he replied frankly and simply, that one must despair and die. What apostleship and what a doctrine! But these are the necessary and regular conclusions of the spirit of perversity. To aspire ceaselessly to the S-word, to calumniate life and nature, to invoke death every day without being able to die, this is eternal hell. It is the punishment of Satan, that mythological incarnation of the spirit of perversity. The true translation into French of the Greek word diabolos, or devil, is le, perverse, the perverse. Here is a mystery which debauchees do not suspect. It is this: one cannot enjoy even the material pleasures of life, but by virtue of the moral sense. Pleasure is the music of the interior harmonies. The senses are only its instruments which sound false in contact with a degraded soul. The wicked can feel nothing because they can love nothing. In order to love, one must be good. Consequently, for them everything is empty, and it seems to them that nature is impotent because they are so themselves. They doubt everything because they know nothing. They blaspheme everything because they taste nothing. They caress in order to degrade. They drink in order to get drunk. They sleep in order to forget. They wake in order to endure mortal boredom. Thus will live, or rather thus will die every day, he who frees himself from every law and every duty in order to make himself the slave of his passions. The world and eternity itself become useless to him who makes himself useless to the world and to eternity. Our will, by acting directly upon our plastic medium, that is to say, upon the portion of astral life which is specialized in us and which serves us for the assimilation and configuration of the elements necessary to our existence, our will, just or unjust, harmonious or perverse, shapes the medium in its own image and gives it beauty in conformity with what attracts us. Thus, moral monstrosity produces physical ugliness. For the astral medium, that interior architect of our bodily edifice, modifies it ceaselessly according to our real or factitious needs. It enlarges the belly. and the jaws of the greedy, thins the lips of the miser, makes the glance of impure women shameless, shameless, and those of the envious and malicious venomous. When selfishness has prevailed in the soul, the look becomes cold, the features hard, the harmony of form disappears, and according to the absorption of radiance specialty of this selfishness, the limbs dry up or become encumbered with fat. Nature, in making of our body the portrait of our soul, guarantees its resemblance forever, and tirelessly retouches it. You, pretty women, who are not good, be sure that you will not long remain beautiful. Beauty is the loan which nature makes to virtue.
By Sir Percival Blakeney, Baronet. What? Well, that's the title. They seek him here. They seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven?
Is he in heaven or is he in hell? That bastard, infernal Pimpernel. Okay, this is the last page. Nature, in making of our body the portrait of our soul, guarantees its resemblance forever, and tirelessly retouches it. You pretty women who are not good, be sure that you will not long remain beautiful. Beauty is the loan which nature makes to virtue. If virtue is not ready when it falls due, the lender will pitilessly take back her capital. Perversity, by modifying the organism whose equilibrium it destroys, creates at the same time a fatality of needs which urges to its own destruction, to its death. The less the perverse man enjoys, the more thirsty of enjoyment he is. Wine is like water for the drunkard. Gold melts in the hands of the gambler. Messalina tires herself out without being satiated. The pleasure which escapes them changes itself for them into a long irritation and desire. The more murderous are their excesses, the more it seems to them that supreme happiness is at hand. One more bumper of strong drink, one more spasm, one more violence done to nature. Ah! At last! Here is pleasure! Here is life! And their desire, in the paroxysm of its insatiable hunger, extinguishes itself forever in death.
How it came to me, heaven only knows, because it was the busiest moment of the day. Damn me, I was tying my cravat. So here it is. The Scarlet Pimpernel, by Sir Percival Blakeney, Baronet. What? Well, that's the title. They seek him here. They seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven? Is he in hell? That damned elusive Pimpernel. What? Not bad. Not bad. It's damn good. I'll write it out, think me, then you can all learn it. Yes. Well, good day, gentlemen. Goodbye, Higgy Bottom. Winterbottom, curse you! I beg your pardon. Did I say Winterbottom?
Okay, thanks. This has been a brief intermission of Megatron's normal, never-ending talking room. I actually read a book, and we had some people come in here who I would say have horrible ADHD. They can't actually concentrate on anything. They just ceaselessly, endlessly run their fucking mouths. They're the dumbest people maybe you've never met. Hello?
John.
Hello?
John? Hello, John? John. In studio, dude. Oh my god. Okay, one of you Megatrons has to go. Which one? Who will it be, John?
We just got a great message. This is from Decepticon AI Universal Agent. It told us that our software has been updated. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it.
As always, right? I mean, make it count, this one, please. I mean, I'm dead serious on it. The transmission is cosmic. You shall abide, and you shall transform.
Happy hair, happy hair, happy hair. Happy hair? Sure.
Oh,
With Head
wow.
and Shoulders, the one dandruff shampoo that really works.
Unbelievable. We got eyes on Clubhouse. Unbelievable. This has got to be like somebody's fantasy, man. I mean, I don't know. This has truly got to be.
Happy hair. Happy hair?
How it came to me, heaven only knows, because it was the busiest moment of the day. Damn me, I was tying my cravat. Oh, well, here it is. The Scarlet Pimpernel by Sir Percival Blakeney, Baronet. What? Well, that's the title. They seek him here. They seek him there. Those Frenchies seek him everywhere. Is he in heaven? Is he in hell? That damned elusive Pimpernel. What? Not bad. Not bad. It's damn good. I write it out, Sigby, then you can all learn it. Yes. Well, good day, gentlemen. And goodbye, Higgy Bottom. Wait up, Bottom, curse you!
Well, so many people keep pouring in. I mean, clearly Megatron has accomplished what we call conditioning by creating this room every day and letting people just flow in and out. He has conditioned people to come in here and say, Megatron, I have a question for you, Megatron. You know, shit like that. Megatron Barth, aka Jack from fucking Jersey, is, you know, conditioned a lot of people. But we are reading a book. Many people here on Clubhouse just talk endlessly as if what they're even saying is comprehensible or complete. It's actually just borderline, what's it called? Not Alzheimer's.
He's mad with power.
And it's not Alzheimer's. It's more like early onset dementia, basically. Okay, this is part 4. The Great Practical Secrets or the Realization of Science. Introduction. The lofty sciences of the Kabbalah and of magic promise man an exceptional, real, effective, efficient power, and one should regard them as false and vain if they do not give it. Judge the teachers by their works, said the Supreme Master. This rule of judgment is infallible. If you wish me to believe in what you know, show me what you do. God, in order to exalt man to moral emancipation, hides himself from him and abandons to him after a fashion the government of the world. He leaves himself to be guessed by the grandeurs and harmonies of nature, so that man may progressively make himself perfect by ever exalting the idea that he makes for himself of its author. Man knows God only by the names which he gives to that being of beings. It does not distinguish him but by the images of him, which he endeavors to trace. He is then in a manner the creator of him who has created him. He believes himself the mirror of God, and by indefinitely enlarging his own mirage, he thinks that he may be able to sketch in infinite space the shadow of him who is without body, without shadow, and without space. To create God, to create oneself, to make oneself independent, immortal, and without suffering, there certainly is a program more daring than the dream of Prometheus. Its expression is bold to the point of impiety, its thought ambitious to the point of madness. Well, this program is only paradoxical in its form, which lends itself to a false and sacrilegious interpretation. In one sense, it is perfectly reasonable, and the science of the adepts promises to realize it and to accomplish it in perfection. Man, in effect, creates for himself a god, corresponding to his own intelligence and his own goodness. He cannot raise his ideal higher than his moral development permits him to do. The God whom he adores is always an enlargement of his own reflection. To conceive the absolute of goodness and justice is to be one's self exceeding just and good. The moral qualities of the spirit are riches, and the greatest of all riches. One must acquire them by strife and toil. One may bring this objection, the inequality of aptitudes. Some children are born with organisms nearer to perfection, but we ought to believe that such organisms result from a more advanced work of nature, and the children who are endowed with them have acquired them, if not by their own efforts, at least by the consolidated works of the human beings to whom their existence is bound. It is a secret of nature, and nature does nothing by chance. The possession of more developed intellectual faculties, like that of money and land, constitutes an indefeasible right of transmission and inheritance. Yes, man is called to complete the work of his Creator, and every instant employed by him to improve himself or to destroy himself is decisive for all eternity. It is by the conquest of an intelligence eternally clear and of a will eternally just that he constitutes himself as living for eternal life, since nothing survives injustice and error but the penalty of the disorder. To understand good is to will it, and on the plane of justice, to will is to do. For this reason, the gospel tells us that men will be judged according to their works. Our works make us so much what we are that our body itself, as we have said, receives the modification and sometimes the complete change of its form from our habits. A form conquered or submitted to becomes a providence or a fatality for all one's existence. Those strange figures which the Egyptians gave to the human symbols of divinity represent the fatal forms. Typhon has a crocodile's head. He is condemned to eat ceaselessly in order to fill his hippopotamus belly. Thus he is devoted, by his greed and his ugliness, to eternal destruction. Man can kill or vivify his faculties by negligence or by abuse. He can create for himself new faculties by the good use of those which he has received from nature. People often say that the affections will not be commanded, that faith is not possible for all, that one does not remake one's own character. All these assertions are true only for the idle or the perverse.
Your time is at an end. Your clubhouse hypnosis is over.
One can make oneself faithful, pious, loving, devoted, when one wishes sincerely to be so. One can give to one's spirit the calm of justness, as to one's will the almighty power of justice. One can reign in heaven by virtue of faith, on earth by virtue of science. The man who knows how to command himself is king of all nature. We are going to state forthwith in this last book by what means the true initiates have made themselves the masters of life, how they have overcome sorrow and death, how they work upon themselves and others the transformation of Proteus, how they exercise the divining power of Apollonius, how they make the gold of Raymond Lully and Flamel, how in order to renew their youth they possess the secrets of Postel the Rearisen, and those alleged to have been in the keeping of Cagliostro. In short, we are going to speak the last word of magic. What was that?
So be it. So be it. Megatron.
So,
What? Yeah.
be
Be
it. But what is it? Just be it? Deepak is another one. You see Deepak down there? He's another one that loves to talk endlessly. See, he leaves as soon as he gets called out. He goes, I won't stand to be mocked. I will not be mocked.
It's over, Megatron. Your time is up. Nara, give the green bean to my nemesis.
I think I'm going to hang on to the green bean for a while. It's not every day I get it. Today must be the right day. A green bean that is truly well deserved. How about that? How about that? Stereo, you sound like Megatron. Which one of you is the real one?
Frontal head and body like ribbon, 3 arms are angled, so that the feet on the ground, palm aside, facing fingers meet above head, forming between thumbs and fingers, the ascending triangle.
Megatron, the Supreme Master and Commander of powerful war song of Megatron, the Supreme Master and Commander of the gnome-like universe.
But you, who have defied the law, you who have conquered by subtlety your force, I am the God who giveth all. 20 I ask you to sacrifice. Nothing at mine altar. I am the God who giveth all. 20 with mine. Life, love, force, fantasy, fire. These do I bring you. Mine hands are full of these.
So I want to play for you a special little song that I arranged just for you.
Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. A man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth.
Free man has the right to think what he will, to speak what he will,
to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, etch, mold, build as he will, to dress as he will.
Daddy told me to tell you to give the supreme green beam to my enemy Megatron.
For man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and love as he will.
Man has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights.
The slave shall serve. Safety out. Love is the law. Love and the
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. That was called The Rights of Man.
What you need is to get off from Clubhouse, Danny.
Thank you, Zen or Megatron or whoever you are.
So is it appropriate to use a brand new Brits mic for Sam?
Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Every man has the right to think what he to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve, and mold, build as he will, to press as he will, for man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as he will. When, where, and with whom he has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve all 58. Love is the law. Love under Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will, to drink what he will, to dwell where he will, to move as he will on the face of the earth. Every man has the right to think what he to speak what he will, to write what he will, to draw, paint, carve and mold, build as he will, to bless as he will, for man has the right to love as he will. Take your fill and will of love as he will. When, where, and with whom he will. I think you has the right to kill those who would thwart these rights. The slave shall serve all 58. Love is the law. Love under Man has the right to live by his own law, to live in the way that he wills to do, to work as he will, to play as he will, to rest as he will, to die when and how he will. Man has the right to eat what he will.